It's March 9th, and the strange side of history awaits. Today, we have twins bound by a language no one else could understand, a voice of hip-hop silenced in the dark of LA, and a doll that reshaped the world. Let's begin. On March 9th, 1993, a strange and unsettling chapter in one of the world's most mysterious twin stories suddenly came to an end. Jennifer and June Gibbons were identical twins from Wales, who had baffled doctors, teachers, and psychologists for years. They were known as the silent twins. They refused to speak to anyone but each other, and when they did communicate, it was a rapid, secret language that only they understood. They spoke so quickly that recordings had to be slowed down to make sense of it. To the outside world, they existed in silence, and the twins completely withdrew, committing small crimes and eventually being sent to the Broadmoor Hospital, one of Britain's most secure psychiatric institutions. There they spent 11 years locked away, still together, and only speaking to each other. Before their release in 1993, something eerie happened. At transfer to a new residential facility, Jennifer suddenly collapsed in the back seat of the car. By the time they arrived, she was dead. Doctors ruled the sudden cause as a severe inflammation of the heart, but the speed of her death puzzled investigators. Even stranger is what happened next. For the first time in her life, June began speaking normally to other people. She later told journalists something chilling. She said that her sister had been the controlling force between them, and she had to die so that she could finally live. Was it a coincidence, psychological release, or something darker hiding inside that bond of the silent twins? On March 9th, 1997, in the streets of Los Angeles were quiet in the early hours of the morning. But within minutes, one of the most famous murders in music history would unfold. Christopher Wallace, better known to the world as the Notorious B.I.G, had just left a music industry party promoting his upcoming album, Life After Death. The 24-year-old rapper was riding in a dark GMC Suburban through the city, surrounded by friends and security, when the convoy stopped at a red light. At 12:30 a.m., at the intersection of Fairfax and Wilshire Boulevard, a car slowly pulled beside them. A dark Chevy Impala SS rolled to the passenger side window, and for a brief moment, everything seemed ordinary. Then, the driver raised a handgun and multiple shots rang out. Bullets tore through the SUV, striking Wallace several times before the Impala sped away into the night. Chaos erupted as he was rushed to the hospital, but despite doctors' efforts, he was pronounced dead at 1:15 a.m. The killing shocked the music industry. Many believed it was tied to the violent East Coast-West Coast hip-hop feud, coming just 6 months after the murder of Tupac. Nearly 3 decades later, and no one has ever been convicted. His album Life and Death would be released just weeks later and become a classic, but the mystery of who killed him that night still hangs over the music world. On March 9th, 1959, a small plastic doll made her first appearance at the American International Toy Fair in New York City. She stood at 11.5 inches tall, dressed in a black and white striped swimsuit, black high heels, and white cat-eye sunglasses. Her blonde ponytail was styled perfectly and her gaze frozen in place. Her name was Barbie. She had been created by Mattel co-founder Ruth Handler, who noticed something unusual when watching her daughter play. Most dolls at the time were babies, meant for nurturing and caregiving, but her daughter preferred imagining adult lives with paper dolls, careers, adventures, and futures. Handler wondered, what if a doll let girls imagine growing up instead? Barbie's design had an unexpected origin. The doll was quietly modeled after a German novelty figure called Bild Lilly, a risque adult gag gift that had nothing to do with children. Despite skeptics, Barbie debuted, and by the end of the first year, 350,000 dolls had been sold. Over time, Barbie would be one of the most recognizable toys on Earth, shaping fashion, culture, and childhood imagination for generations. Today, the original 1959 and #1 Barbie is one of the most valuable collector dolls ever made. It's strange to think that one of the most famous toys in history as being a controversial experiment. What began as a simple toy reshaped how millions of children imagined their future. Another day, another strange bite from history. Like, comment, and subscribe. Your next eerie dose is just a day away.